Hello all, and thanks for attending this morning's webinar. I'm Candice, GM of Marketing at the AFA, and I'm really excited to be able to introduce you to today's webinar titled Income Protection Sweet Spots and Client Strategies to Consider, brought to you in partnership with the Life Tech Assist. And today you're hearing from owner and founder of Life Tech Assist, David Spiteri. So hi, David. Now, David is the owner and founder of Life Tech, in which he provides life insurance technical support to advisors and licensees, and has been in the life insurance industry since 1986. Now, he doesn't look that old. You're looking good, David. He has held various positions within life insurance, fulfilling roles as an underwriter, claims manager, and all facets of the administration process of life insurance policies, to working as a life insurance broker for 10 years. For the last 15 years, David's been a national insurance manager with some of the major dealer groups, in which he's been providing life insurance technical education and support to the advice network. David's really passionate that ordinary Australians obtain adequate life insurance protection, and is an advocate for clients seeking this advice from the use of a financial advisor. Outside of work, David's an active crew member of his local voluntary marine rescue, the Whitsundays, and always keen to get out on the water for a fish. There's something to learn, David, about you. Fantastic effort there. In today's webinar, David will provide ways to identify what income protection products are a good fit for your clients. David will compare each insurance provider's strengths and weaknesses and identify potential client scenarios that may be suitable for a particular product. Now, before we begin, I would just like to cover off some housekeeping for the webinar. Thanks, David. I've just lost my spot. Today's webinar will be worth 1 CPD hour point for everybody, and we'll send out details of this within the next week. We will answer questions at the end of this presentation, so please use the Zoom Q&A feature, not the chat feature, as you can see in the diagram on the slide. Now, David, thanks for putting this really relevant and important information together for our members. And so let's kick off. Over to you. Welcome.
Thanks very much, Candice, and thanks, Melissa, for organising this for me. Technical side of things is not really my strength. I do get by, but thanks, Candice, and thanks, Melissa, and the AFA for the opportunity. Also, thank you guys for taking time out of your business. As Candice mentioned, look, my background has been life insurance, for quite some time. And I just see it very prevalent, particularly with the changes in the income protection market, that we just have a look at the differences of each of the insurers. Now, what I've done, I've picked out pretty much some of the stuff that I see being useful out of the product. Now, I'm not here to say this product is better than the other. I'm not here to give you advice, but I'd like you to get out of this session is education of what all the insurers offer, some key considerations as to insurers that you may want to look at given certain client situations. Obviously, we've got the disclaimer, just to let you know I've got no assets, so please don't even try and sue me. So agenda obviously is retail insurers and the income protection product offering, just their highlights. We're going to look at a matrix that I've put together, which is heavily downloaded in our resource centre of Life Tech Assist, which gives you a bit of an understanding. Clients with in certain situations, these are the insurers that I would consider. It's not to say the others that I haven't mentioned aren't any good, but these are the ones that I would consider, and it's just a personal view. We'll have a look at the historic view of income protection claims, and look, I know there's been a number of slides from different insurers as to what their statistics are and so forth. So mine's probably just another one, but they're all around about the same. And hopefully we've got some time for some questions. So in no particular order, I'm just going to go from insurer A all the way through to Z, being Zurich, and just produce some of the highlights of what I see of their product. So AIA, they've got the Income Core product. And I won't say recently, but 2-3 months ago, they did a bit of a product change where their core monthly benefit is a flat 70% to the age of 65. Okay, their 5-year benefit structure, once again, is flat 70% in its own occupation. You'll find that most insurers now with their 5-year benefit periods are own occupation. Another thing that's starting to become quite prevalent with a number of insurers is locking in some rate guarantees. Now, AIA provide the best rate guarantee being 5 years. Others will provide 3, 2, but 5 years is by far the longest that I've seen in the industry. And the 5-year rate guarantee is for 2- and 5-year benefit periods. A lot of insurers now are starting to get into the wellbeing programs. Vitality has been around for over 10 years. And look, I used to head up the insurance for a dealer group. And I do know that clients that opt into a Vitality-like program tend to have a better retention rate for them, and they tend to stay in force more often. Just going by some of the software that I've seen, disablement from war is not excluded. Annual long service leave taken is not used to offset the benefit. That's probably handy for those that, particularly the employed people that do have annual leave and sick leave and so forth. Minimum entry age is 15. Now that's the youngest entry age, I think, of any insurer is 15 years of age. They have a needle stick injury benefit. And they've also partnered with medics to support their clients dealing with a medical condition. I think that's a great idea. And look, there's other programs out there. It's great to see the insurers, not only taking the business, putting it in force and paying out a claim, but they're looking to provide support. One thing that is unique, and there's only one path and tell that actually offer this as well, is the 5-year benefit period per event. Now, not many advisors are aware, but if you've got a 5-year benefit period, most insurers, if you were on claim for, say, 2 years on one condition, let's say it was a back complaint and off work for 2 years, the maximum that you can claim for another event is 3 years. So the maximum that an insurer will pay out, most insurers will pay out, is 5 years of monthly benefits. Where this differs is AIA provide a 5-year benefit period per event. So given that same example, if I had a back complaint for 2 years and then I'm back at work and I had to make another complaint or another claim for something totally unrelated, I've got 5 years of monthly benefits that I can receive. It's not just restricted to 36 months, being 3 years. Clearview, the only insurers now that offer accidental income protection. AIA used to be there, but they've just moved out of the market. And I know it's a popular choice for those that do have medical conditions and so forth. So looking for accidental cover, obviously there's only one insurer out there, and that's Clearview to go through. Their Clear Choice Income Protection, we mentioned the accidental income protection cover. They also, annual or long service leave taken is not used to offset the benefit, which is terrific. They have an involuntary unemployment benefit. It's funny talking about the unemployment benefit. And look, this is probably why we've had to make a change. And I'm not here to give you a history lesson, but many moons ago, 10, 15 years ago, there was an insurer that offered the involuntary unemployment benefit. And then insurers tend to follow. It was just like the 3-tiered definition, insurers tend to follow. This involuntary unemployment benefit, I know of a couple of insurers that didn't price it within their product because pretty much it wasn't probably going to get used. But who would have thought that COVID come into play? And I do know that an insurer suffered quite heavily in clients utilising that benefit. Yeah, so, but they do have an involuntary unemployment benefit. What is unique? They have a 30-month own occupation total disability definition before it changes to any, and that's to age 65. You'll find that just about all the insurers, except PPS Mutual, after 24 months or 2 years, the definition of disability changes to any. There's no passive income offset, death and terminal illness benefit. And the reason why I put this in there is because some insurers offer the death and a death benefit or a terminal illness benefit, but predominantly the death benefit. But generally, you need to be on claim to receive it. So if you're on claim and happen to pass away whilst receiving benefits, they'll generally pay you, 6 times or up to a maximum amount. And what I've highlighted here is some of the insurers that actually offer a death and terminal illness benefit whilst on claim or not. All right, and it may be used as a funeral benefit. TPD lump sum option. So they also have the option to choose, and this is unique as well, option to choose a TP lump sum for significant disabilities. So if it looks like the claim's going to run to age 65, there may be an option to take it as a lump sum. There's a booster benefit available. Now the booster benefit, and I'll talk about booster benefit with a number of insurers, but generally what that is giving you up to 90% for the first 6 months, 90% of pre-disability earnings for the first 6 months of being on claim, which is terrific. And I do remember, for those that are online and that do remember, Astron used to have that, or actually Royal and Sun Alliance used to have that benefit, where they offered, I think it was 90% or even 100% for the first 3 months of being on claim. I loved using it when I was advising, and it's great to see it back out there again. Specified events option, so bed confinement. So bed confinement / nursing care. Many are unaware, but the nursing care or bed confinement benefit gets claimed upon quite heavily. Fractures of specified bones, loss of use of limb or eye. Look, for me, specified events option, generally when we're working with tradies, they're not the ones that are going to get sick. They're the ones that are more so thinking that they're going to fall off a scaffold or something of that nature. They're going to get injured. So I would, my opinion is look at an insurer with specified events options for clients that are in the trade. Future increased benefits, so they can increase up to 15% for specified events, and that's marriage, taking out a loan, adoption of a child, and so forth. Integrity Life. Now they've come up with the 3 product suite: income 50, income 60, income 70, and generally what that is the income 50 is covering 50% of your pre-disability earnings, 60 and then 70. Some of their highlights is the annual long service leave taken is not used to offset the benefit. Own occupation definition for 5 years for the 5-year benefit periods. They're another insurer that's got a base rate guarantee, which is 2 years. There's no monthly premium loadings. Now, what that means, most other insurers, if you're looking at a premium, what that means a premium loading is if the monthly premium is $100, ends up becoming $1,200 per year. But what most insurers will charge is roughly 8% because they'll be processing that payment monthly. So there's generally that monthly premium loading is roughly about an 8% saving. Okay, and what you would see is if your clients move from monthly to yearly, you'll find that it is about roughly 8% cheaper. They also have that booster benefit or total disability top up, which is up to 90% of the pre-disability earnings for the first 6 months. No policy fees. And I put that in specifically because some of the contracts that are out there, even with the older agreed value, the indemnity and things like that, there is a policy fee, but if you read the fine print, they actually do increase with CPI as well. So thinking it's only $70 or $100 for a policy fee, over the long journey, it does add up. They have a no passive income offset. involuntary unemployment and parental care cover. And they're one of the few that actually have a 60-day and a 180-day waiting period and a 2-year waiting period. I know most insurers have still opted for the 30, 90, maybe a 2-year benefit period. What I like about this Integrity Life is their care support package with their lump sum cover. So look, I may digress a little bit from the income protection, but their care support package, if you're writing lump sum cover with Integrity Life, they will automatically receive, free of charge, entitled to the care support package. And what that provides is bed confinement. So if they're confined to a bed for at least 3 days, they'll pay $250 a day. Accommodation, bedside attendance, funeral attendance, grief support, child support, overseas assistance, home care. Some of you may be thinking, geez, that sounds familiar. And yeah, I think it does sound familiar, like the older styled income protection policies that had all those ancillary benefits attached. Now, obviously, Integrity Life haven't attached them to their income protection, and obviously because of the APRA intervention. But if I was looking to, look at rewriting an insurance policy for price or whatever the reason may be, and I'm not endorsing to rewrite any insurance policy, but obviously it does happen, and the bells and whistles and the ancillary benefits were quite important to your client, I'd look at providing some of the lump sum with Integrity Life and getting that actual ancillary benefits attached to it. So I think it's very unique, and it's free of charge, and I think it's a great benefit here. Also, it's worth mentioning, I'm not associated with any insurer. I'm not paid by any insurer. So this is just the independent assessment of what I've seen out in the insurance market. And believe it or not, this is a moving target. As most of you be aware that there was an insurer that did change their income protection products substantially over the last week. So I continually change this as things change. MetLife, so they have the standard income and the standard income with disability extras. They have a known occupation definition for the duration of the benefit period, not to age 65, unfortunately, but 1, 2, and 5 year benefit periods. They're one of the very few insurers that actually offer a 1 year benefit period. Okay, and look, that 1 year benefit period may be just, for a key person within the business, where you just need really 12 months to cover that cost. So I think that's great, having a 1 year benefit period as an option. They have the trauma benefit, which is up to 90% of pre-disability earnings for the first 6 months in the event of cancer, stroke, not heat, it should be heart attack, and coronary artery bypass surgery. Passive income will not offset the benefit. The disability options have a home help expense benefit, which is up to 90% of the earnings for the first 6 months, and cover up to 90% of the insured's income for the first 6 months, which is like your booster benefit. And one thing that is unique, the insured is not required to be totally disabled during the waiting period. So if they're partially disabled during the waiting period, they're entitled to claim if they're still partially or totally disabled. And another program, which is the access to 360 Health and the 360 Health virtual care at no extra cost. So that's just another program that assists your clients with some medical help if need be, and advice. MLCs, so they've come up with the Income Assure and Income Assure Plus. They're the only insurer that actually offer a 14-day waiting period, which still does get used occasionally. Particularly, we see a lot of the tradies still take up the 14-day. Yes, it does come with a cost, but they're the only insurer that offers a 14-day waiting period, and a 1 year waiting period is also available. They have the extended cover option, so you can extend that benefit period all the way up to age 70. The booster benefit is available, and that's up to 90% of the pre-disability earnings for the first 6 months. They have a trauma benefit. Now, what the trauma benefit is not paying an additional monthly benefit, but what it is, in the event of a traumatic event, they'll waive the waiting period. What is unique as well, and there's only a couple of insurers that have this, is that the waiting period conversion. So generally, and look, we do know that many advisors were writing, or maybe still are writing, 2-year waiting periods, and a benefit to age 65, because they have an industry fund. It's cheap as chips, too good to give away. So let's keep the industry fund in place, and then after 2 years, we'll tack on a retail income protection. If it's with an industry fund or something of that nature, there's an option here that if they leave that industry fund, there's an option that you can convert that 2-year waiting period to 90 days without any further medical evidence. That's a terrific idea. Instead of going through underwriting, there's a waiting period conversion. In active employment, so the disability assessment will not be altered if the insured is unemployed for 12 months. Another insurer that has annual long service leave taken is not used to offset the benefit. Another insurer that has death benefit up to 6 times, so it's maximum $60,000, whilst on claim or not on claim. Now, for those clients that have no death cover, don't want death cover, yeah, maybe something to consider that, hey, this is $60,000, maximum $60,000. You know, it can be used as a funeral benefit, and possibly put that within your presentation if you're not looking at the lump sum cover. They used to have the Best Doctors service, which I personally used quite some time ago and had a lot of success. Now they've changed the name, it's called Vivo, and it's still access to the Best Doctor service and other support programs. Taking the severe disability terms removal is with Assure Plus. So after 2 years, you don't have to be severely disabled and meet the severe disability definition if you take that as an option. Accidental injury benefits, and it's only for 14 and 30-day waiting periods. Once again, I think that's great for tradespeople. NEOS, so they've got the product suite income support standard, and I'll talk a little bit about Encompass as well. So their highlights are inactive employment, so the disability assessment will not be altered if the life insured is unemployed for 12 months. They have the extended care option, so there's no reduction of the monthly benefit. Other employer business income may not be used to offset the benefit, which I think it's quite important for some business owners. I think it's a great initiative. They're another insurer that has an involuntary unemployment benefit, and they have a death benefit as well, 6 times the monthly benefit. The maximum is $50,000, whilst on claim or not. And they're another insurer that has a rate guarantee, and for NEOS, it's a 3-year rate guarantee. The Encompass protection, which is an issue where the application is actually underwritten by MLC and the administration is conducted by NEOS. And with their product, they have the booster benefit, which is an optional $10,000 death benefit whilst on claim or not. So it's not a maximum of $50,000 or multiple of a monthly benefit. It's a $10,000 death benefit. And they have access to the Encompass services, which is the Enhanced Recovery Assist, Cancer Aid Coach Program, and Mindset for Life. So they're the programs that they partner with, so that your clients can receive some further advice, rehabilitation, and assist them throughout their claim. OnePath, they have the Income Secure. I'm going to talk a little bit about living expense insurance, which is seldomly used, but it's something to consider for some of our clients. So some of their highlights, they have the option to extend the benefit period to age 70. They offer specified events. For specified events, up to 90% of the pre-disability earnings for the first 6 months. They're the only insurer that actually has a 6-year benefit period per event. So as we all know, all other insurers will have a 5-year benefit period. But OnePath offers a 6-year benefit period but also it's the 6-year benefit period per event. And it's the same as the AIA. So if you are making a claim on your policy for one event, you've got up to 6 years worth of monthly benefits payable. If it's a different event, you've got another 6 years. Okay, so it's per event. Inactive employment, so disability assessment will not be altered if the insured's unemployed for 12 months. And they've just recently thrown in a 2-year rate guarantee. I did mention the 6-year benefit period. They have the ability to convert to a living expense insurance. They have that waiting period of conversion, 2 years to 90 days. So 2-year waiting period over to a 90 days waiting period with no medical evidence required. There is a severity-based definition after 2 years of being on claim, and the severity booster option increases the monthly benefit payable to 20% for specific conditions for the first 6 months. I'm going to talk a little bit about living expense insurance, and look, I'm not sure how heavily used it is, but I think it's something that's worth considering. Now, living expense works the same way as a monthly benefit payable to the insured. Now, it's not based on the client's individual income, it's based on the household income. So the maximum that you can get under living expense insurance is, I think it's $5,000 per month. And it's for use for casual workers, homemakers, uninsurable occupations. That's something that I would look at. Now, the maximum entry age is 75 next birthday, but the key is the definition of disability is being unable to do 2 of the 5 activities of daily living permanently or temporarily. Okay. PPS Mutual, this is getting a lot of traction, PPS Mutual. And look, it's designed for the professional market. Okay, so insurance available aims at life insurers that practice in the medical, commercial, and legal and industrial industry. So there's only 23 occupations that they will cover, and they're the only insurer, if they do qualify under that occupation, that has a known occupation definition for the duration of the benefit period, which includes to age 65. All right. So in addition to that, your clients do participate in a profit share plan. And just to give you an understanding how the profit share plan works is if the policy has been enforced for less than 10 years, there's nothing payable unless you've passed away during a terminal illness or something, or suffer a terminal illness. If the policy has been enforced for 10 to 20 years, members can take 5% of the profit share, and over 20 years or from age 65, members receive the balance of their profit share account. Okay, I see many advisors, look at the profit share. It's also good to understand how that profit share does work. But as I said, they're the only insurers that will do a known occupation disability definition for plans to age 65. And they also offer a death benefit, maximum $60,000 or 6 times the monthly benefit, whilst on claim or not. TAL, they've got the IP Extend, Income Protection Enhanced, and the Focus. So their Focus product is own occupation definition for the 5-year benefit periods. The Enhanced is a reset benefit after 24 months of being on claim. So that's where the definite disability will change. And the Extend is the insured monthly benefit for the policy duration. So that will not reduce to 60% after a certain period of time. It's a flat, I think the maximum is 70% for the policy duration, even to age 65. Now, I actually did a little bit of work with TAL earlier in the year and looked at their product quite closely. And looking at their pricing and so forth, on average, they're about 24% cheaper than their competitors and about 48% cheaper throughout the policy duration. I think that was based on an age 40 next birthday. So I think that's something worth considering is the pricing of TAL. Annual and long service leave taken is not used to offset the benefit. Now, they designed their product based on the claims that were paid over a 5-year period. Okay, so that's how they've come up with their product design. And look, from my way of thinking, I think it's quite good as well. They have the TAL Wellbeing Program, bed confinement benefit, which is like the nursing care benefit, and elective surgery benefit. Zurich have the active income safeguard and the wealth protection income safeguard. They would also consider monthly benefits above $30,000. So for those clients that are high income, possibly look at Zurich with this, with a 1 or 2 year benefit period. A 5-year benefit period per event. We spoke about that with OnePath and AIA. They have the 1 year waiting period available and a 1 year benefit period available, which is pretty much unique, but most insurers don't have that. And one thing that you may not be aware of is that the benefit is paid bi-monthly on the initial benefit. So if we've got a 30-day waiting period, for example, generally for your client to receive the first payment, they'll need to be off for 30 days, qualify for that waiting period being 30 days, and then the first monthly benefit will be paid 30 days after. With Zurich, they will actually pay that 15 days after the 30 days. So effectively it's 45-day waiting period to receive your first payment, where all others with 30-day waiting period generally have to wait the 30-day waiting period plus an additional 30 days until they receive their first benefit. They are another insurer that has a waiting period conversion, 1 or 2 year waiting periods to 90 days without further medical evidence. They have a severity booster option, so it increases the monthly benefit payable by 20% for any specific conditions for the first 6 months on claim. They've just recently put in a 2-year rate guarantee, and they have the future insurability option as well, which only about 3 insurers actually have that future insurability option. So what I've done, so I've taken all that into consideration. I think there's good in all the products, and all the products they're good. But what I've done here is just done a bit of a research observation and looked at what I would consider. I'm not here to give you advice as to these are the insurers that you must use, but these are the insurers that I would consider given client situations. So monthly benefits above $30,000. I'd certainly look at Clearview, and I'd look at Zurich there. Individuals requiring immediate benefits in the event of accident, for example, your tradespeople, Clearview, MLC, and OnePath. Clients looking to maximise their initial benefit amount. So I'm looking at the booster benefit here, so insurers that have the booster benefit. One thing to consider with the booster benefit, and I don't have the statistics, but I'd like to actually know how many claims are rendered within 6 months. That actually I should probably find that out, because I think having the booster benefit, having up to 90% of your pre-disability earnings for the first 6 months is a real benefit for those looking to maximise their income in the event of a claim. Clients that spend large amounts of time overseas, I looked at all insurers except Encompass, MetLife and TAL, and it's not to say that they won't pay, but generally there's a little clause in there that says, well, after 3 months, we may ask you to return to Australia for us to continue payments. Seeking home childcare assistance whilst on claim, MetLife. Individuals that don't qualify for insurance medically, definitely look at the accident only policy with Clearview. Uninsurable occupations, We looked at One Path, living expense. Clients with business income that want no offsets, and that's your Clearview, MLC, and One Path. Own occupation definition to age 65. The only insurer out there is PPS Mutual, and it's only for limited occupations. Clients that have no death cover, the insurers that actually provide a death cover benefit whilst on claim or not on claim, and that's Encompass, NEOS, Clearview, MLC, and Zurich. Those of you that are looking for rate guarantees, and yes, I do understand that premiums have increased significantly on the income protection market, but if you're looking for a rate guarantee, not only just for your client, but also for getting over the commission responsibility period of 2 years. Okay, and AIA, Integrity Life, NEOS, One Path, and Zurich offer a rate guarantee. Ancillary benefits similar to pre-October 2021. That's where I was talking about the client care package with Integrity Life. And clients with large amounts of sick leave, we don't want that to offset their monthly benefit or their payments. AIA, Clearview, Integrity Life, MLC, One Path, Talent, and Zurich. So as I said from the outset, this is predominantly insurers to consider. It's not here to say these are the ones that you must take out. These are insurers to consider. And as you can see, every insurer, every retail product out there has its good points. So I want to look at just the 20 minutes ago, just look at the claim statistics. And this may or may not help you in the event of putting together a recommendation. But the amount of, and I've taken this from TEL actually, the average amount of claims submitted on a book of 1,000 in-force IP clients is roughly 20 claims submissions. So it's about 2%. So every 1,000 in-force policies for income protection, generally is about 20 claims that will appear out of that 1,000. So it's about 2%. Now the averages on a book of 1,000 claims on income protection, 88% will be off claim before 5 years. Okay, 12% of those clients will remain on claim after the 5 years, which is 120 clients. And of those clients, 70% will be assessed as own occupation TPD, which is 84 clients, which leaves 36 of the 1,000 clients, IP claims remain on long-term or partially disabled. Now, just looking at those statistics, and I know there's a lot of strategies that are out there now where advisors are doing a 2-year benefit period on their income protection with own occupation to supplement the income thereafter, or 5-year benefit periods with own occupation or any occupation. Now, I just thought I'd put the statistics out in front, just which I've received from APRA claims data, KPMG and the FSC report. One thing you need to remind yourself, you will not be able to cover everything possible. And look, I've had a lot of experience with claims, particularly AFCA claims, FOS claims, and I've never ever seen an advisor get sued, for example, offering a trauma policy with one insurer where they should have offered it with another insurer because they had this unknown illness that this insurer had as a condition and the first insurer didn't. Because generally what you will see is the first insurer would actually have conditions that that second insurer wouldn't have. Only slightly, but I've never seen an advisor be sued because you sold me the wrong policy. One thing to take into consideration as well, and I know it's on top of the list of many dealer groups, is this best interest. Is best interest getting the best product with all the bells and whistles for my client? Is that meeting the best interest duties? From my way of thinking and understanding it quite clearly, best interest duties is getting your client in a better position from where they are today. And an example would be someone that has no insurance taking out real insurance. You know, the stuff that I don't like, but that is meeting a best interest duties, getting your client in a better position to where they are now. All right, so, and a lot of the calls that I do receive from advisors have been, you know, am I meeting best interest duties? What's the best product for my client? How should I be picking it? Is it the bells and whistles? Hopefully that's made it a little bit clearer on my understanding on best interest duties. And it's as long as you're getting your client in a better position to where they currently are at. All right. Another question I do seem to get quite often is client has an agreed value policy and it's become too expensive. It's on level premium or it's on step premium and it's become too expensive. You know, how should I tackle this? What insurer should I be looking at with the new retail product offerings? Can I suggest maybe take a step back and have a look at what the client currently has? And there's a number of options that I would look at prior to actually looking at the new retail stuff. Because look, there is a massive difference between the old income protection and the new income protection, particularly the definition of disability, where there's a 3-tier definition and just one definition, which generally changes after 2 years if it's to an age 65. Things that I would be looking at is the monthly benefit. Is the monthly benefit still adequate? Okay, yes, agreed value, they're going to get the monthly benefit that's shown, even if it's more than 75% of their income. But do they really require that? Can we reduce that? Do they have any additional benefits, a day one accident, things like that we can reduce? Can we move it from agreed value to an indemnity value style contract? Can we bring out the waiting period from a 30-day to a 90-day, which is roughly a 40% saving on the premiums? These are the things that I would look at more so than going straight to the current retail product. Do we reduce the waiting period from age 65 to a 5-year benefit period and attach some own occupation TPD or any occupation TPD, you know, or a 2-year? They're just things that I would be looking at before jumping the gun and looking at the retail stuff. So guys, that pretty much wraps it up for me. Hopefully you've got a little bit of an understanding of the differences and the uniqueness of each of the insurers. They all have their good points, but also putting a matrix together hopefully is giving you a little bit of guidance as to some of the things that I would look at given different client situations. In addition, hopefully we've sort of cleared up a little bit about that best interest duties. And also some of the, as I said, a lot of the questions that I do receive from my clients is in regards to strategies, retaining their clients, reducing their current income protection. How should we be reducing the benefits and so forth? So there's a bit of a process that we do look at. Candice, I'll pass it on to you. I think I've got a couple of questions here.
I'm getting it. I think, David, fantastic update there, I think, on such an important topic. So thank you for that. There seems to be a few emojis arising on the screen. Look, I've got half a dozen questions come through, David. So, and look, some of them you may have to take offline. Quick one for everyone. Someone's asked, look, will the slides be available after the presentation? That's a yes. Look, we will be putting a recording up of this webinar along with the slides on the AFA website. If you just give us 24 hours, they will be available for everybody. Now, we've got a few here, David, one from Craig Shanefield. If a person is in between jobs, what impact would this have if a client went on to claim before he started his next job?
The easiest answer is it depends. It depends.
Yeah.
It depends on the income protection contract, whether it's old or whether it's new. And it depends on what the wording of the insurance policy states. Like it may be a case that the definition of disability will not change for the first 12 months. So I'm happy to take that one offline. If he wants to give me a call, I'm happy to answer it, because it's funny, there's a deal group that I do work fairly closely with, and they've asked me to put together a Q&A of the most common questions, and it's virtually impossible because it's all unique based on different insurance policies, policy wordings, and a client situation.
No, thanks. So maybe a conversation, David, you're happy to take the call?
Yeah, absolutely.
Craig's got a couple of questions, so maybe that is an offline conversation. Another question is, can Clearview insure over 30K? I think, is that meant to be 300K?
No, over $30,000 per month.
Oh, I see. Sorry, per month. I beg your pardon. Yeah.
My understanding is yes. I will actually double check that. My understanding is yes. I did get my slides double checked, and I know their income tiering is probably the most generous for high income earners. But my understanding is yes. But I will clarify that. I'll actually get a copy of these questions.
Yes, absolutely. We can take some offline for you to respond to.
Absolutely.
Directly, David. But shall I keep going then?
Yeah, let's.
Another one from Rodney. Look, what is your opinion on the most suitable cover for the self-employed? Is that too kind of general?
That's general as well, because it all depends if it's a self-employed.
So you'd have to sort of, it would be.
Yeah, if it's a self-employed tradesperson, personally, I'll be looking at something with specified injury events. Look, it does depend. If it's a company,
case by case.
Other insurer, I would look. Yeah.
Okay, but I mean, this is what this is what you do, right? So people can contact you and have those conversations.
Correct. Yeah. And that's exactly what I do. And earlier, Candice, Life Tech Assist was built by advisors for advisors. And,
fantastic. No, thanks, David. Oh, look, let's go. Well, we've got a bit more time, a couple more. David, what do you think of PPS Mutual Recovery Plan after 2 years on claim? Do they offer a genuine own occupation definition after the 24 months? I think that's what.
It's a good question.
Yeah.
But if I can put it into a different perspective, it's far better than anything that's out there at the moment. Okay, and I don't believe, and I believe I know on good authority that their own occupation definition will not change. Being to the age of 65, which I do know every other insurer, all the other competitors, are only own occupation to age 65 for 2 years, for the first 2 years, and that was based on a retention. So their retention is extremely high. So I believe, and I spoke to people there, and I don't believe that's going to change at all. But I think it's far better than anything else that's out there as well, as long as you can qualify for the occupation.
Okay. No, thanks, David. Bruno's asked, can you please comment on the current state of group versus retail?
Yeah. Don't get me started, Bruno.
Oh, no. Could take a while, that one.
No, it can take a while, but look, as we're all aware, earlier in the piece, retail and group or industry fund cover was a long way away, and there was really some easily compelling arguments why you write the retail stuff as opposed to the industry. Unfortunately, the gap has narrowed significantly. But one thing we need to remember, in my personal opinion, is that the retail stuff is better than the industry fund. And yes, there are situations where industry fund is the only option for your client, which you can't get with a retail product. A retail product probably won't even insure you. And I've got a number of fact sheets that tell you what the automatic acceptance levels are and things like that. But, you know, those, if it's outside of superannuation, if you're looking at cover outside of superannuation, retail, 100%. And then obviously with industry funds, you can't. With also a retail product, you can attach those benefits outside, flexi link it. So there is differences, and they're guaranteed renewable, they're non-cancelable. Some industry funds are cancelable. So there's still an argument. I won't even say an argument. There's still compelling reasons to use a retail instead of an industry fund. Not in all situations, but surely that, you know, that gap has narrowed.
A lot. Okay, no, thanks, David. Now, what is your opinion on upfront discounts with insurers?
Is someone trying to load me up here?
So these are from different.
No, I know. No, I do have a theory on upfront discounts on insurance. Things that you need to consider is, yeah, it might be good for the first year, but once that discount ends, you need to ensure that you prepare your client that there is going to be an increase the following year. In addition to that, with the responsibility period being 2 years for your commission, you may jeopardise it because the premium increase may be too expensive the second year, and you may suffer a clawback. Look, it's the way you position it with your client is going to determine whether you think it's a good thing or not.
Okay. Okay, we've probably got a couple more, time for a couple more if you're keen. Is there any news on APRA introduction of maximum term of IP cover? In other words, do you have to reapply after 2 years?
Is it 2 years or 5 years?
Well, they've mentioned 2.
So are they talking about?
Karen,
my understanding that everything's been on hold in respect of reapplying for your income protection cover and reassessing the monthly benefit, reassessing the occupation, reassessing whether you smoke or don't smoke. The only thing that doesn't get reassessed is the medical. My understanding is it's been put on hold.
Yeah.
I don't want to give any false hope, but I can't see it getting through. I can't see that renewal every 5 years.
Yes.
I think it's just too difficult. There are issues with, do I get paid as an advisor upon that renewal because things have changed? How do insurers, you know, put that within their systems? I just don't think it'll get up. And my understanding, I think the regulators are reasonably happy with the way things are going. Yeah, I don't know if it'll get up. I really don't. I don't think it will.
So is that moving it from 5 years to 2? Is that what you're saying?
No, my understanding on that is,
or it is 5 years.
I think it's 5 years.
Okay.
If I'm understanding the question correctly,
Yeah.
is when APRA first released the intervention or thereabouts, they were going to look at every 5 years, the policy gets renewed. So the monthly benefit gets renewed to ensure it reflects 70% of their income. The occupation class gets looked at to ensure it reflects the premium. If you've turned into a smoker from a non-smoker, the premium gets reflected. That's what I'm taking it on.
Okay.
And if I'm incorrect, feel free to give me a buzz. Happy to chat about it too.
Thanks, David. Look, one from Matthew. What is the best value insurer with regards to the benefits and extras for an IP policy with an own occupation definition for 5 or more years, excluding PPS Mutual? So someone looking for an alternative.
Once again, it's almost like a Dorothy Dix. It depends. It depends on the client.
Yeah.
So, look, when I used to advise, and I know times have changed, you know, I used to look at most of my business with one insurer, another insurer would get maybe 25 to 30%, and the third insurer would get maybe 10%, and all the other insurers would maybe get 5%. Today, it's totally changed. It's totally changed where every insurer, there are good things to consider with every insurer, and it would depend on your client's situation. Those days are gone. You know, if you said, who would I use the most? It would depend on your client base. Yeah.
Yeah.
Take that offline too. If you want to give me a call and give me the situation, I can certainly provide some considerations.
Here's just your opinion on something. What are your thoughts on insurance commissions when the QAR is finalised? Do you think they will retain the status quo or remove them altogether? What's your feeling?
Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to get myself into trouble here.
No. Okay.
My gut feeling is, my personal opinion, my opinion is we're not being paid enough. The amount of work that we do, this is a specialist area. You've hit a raw nerve. I'm passionate about insurance, and I don't believe we are getting remunerated correctly for the work that we actually do. Let's throw that out the way. Okay. What I believe will happen is that commissions won't increase. And this is my opinion. Commissions won't increase. However, look, the politicians will never ever say they got it wrong. Okay, they'll never say that.
Yeah.
But I think they've identified that we can make things a little bit easier, and that's the things like shortening the statement of advice, or what needs to be in the advice documents. So I don't know whether they will actually increase the commissions. I don't believe they'll reduce the commissions, but I certainly believe that they will make the compliance and the business, the way we do business, a little bit easier. That's what I believe. Fantastic. And I'm not saying I know anything more, but that's what I believe. But don't start me. Who is that? Who is the candidate?
Actually, I'll just have to scroll down. Sorry, there's a bit of dialogue in between.
No, that's all right. That's right.
There's a bit of chat. But I've now lost it. There's some.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Look, it's a good question. I don't know the answer to it.
Oh, Edwin Bay was the
Edwin,
if you know.
Thanks, Edwin. You've just
Thanks, Edwin.
You've struck a raw nerve there.
Yeah. Now look, we approached the hour mark there, David. Look, fantastic presentation. Look, lots of people coming in saying thanks for a great presentation. We can definitely take these questions offline so you can respond to them individually. And look, thank you everyone for attending. And David, pleasure to have you join us and present at the AFA. And we look forward to working with you further.
Thanks, Candice. Thanks to the AFA. And thanks, guys, for taking time out of your business. And I'm more than happy to take some calls afterwards if you want, just on your own cases. But yeah, hope to see you guys around the traps. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good day, everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.